Stream is up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to Omally Live on this, the 28th day of April 2020. This episode of Omally Live is brought to you in part by the Tremont Coffee Company. For all of your hot and cold brewing needs, check out the Tremont Coffee Company at 215 North Erie Street, Massillon, Ohio, Tigertown, USA. Ted Herncane, how you doing, my friend?
Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me on. I'm well.
Sure. Um, Last night at the City Council work session, there was a piece of legislation that yourself and Jim Therrett are putting together. And during the discussion, it kind of got off track a little bit. And I just want to discuss the proposed legislation that you guys are doing. So unpackage it a little bit for us.
Sure. Probably 2 months ago, Jim and I started talking about this idea. This was at the time when the federal grants and loans were coming out, and we thought, maybe we should look to do something locally here for our businesses in Massillon. We talked about it on and off. We finally decided that, we need to bring this forward as companies apply for these loans or these grants. And then it was a very tedious process. I've looked at the documents, and, some of our businesses, especially downtown, they don't have company controllers or accountants or CFOs. And some of this was a little tedious. And we thought, maybe now is the time that we know that these companies are either applying and not getting or not being able to apply, and for whatever reason, now maybe is the time to put forward some legislation to put some local funds for our local businesses. Pursuant to the council rules, Jim and I don't serve on any committees together, so we're putting together a non-committee sponsored piece of legislation. We believe that there will be two, one to the community development, one that will get assigned to the community development committee, and one that would get assigned to the finance committee appropriating the funds. And we want to put together a program similar to the SBA's PPP program, payroll protection program, in that if we set aside some funds, local businesses up to $10,000 for a business in Massillon that meets some certain requirements, and up to 15,000 for a business in the downtown business district that would meet some requirements, would be eligible for grants upon application, review, submission to council, and approval by council, that they could get some assistance for things like payroll and related expenses, rent, utility payments, and some expenses to, as we phase in with our economy, hopefully some expenses that, they may have to bear to make their workplace or their business a safe working environment, just because the economy is starting to reopen. And the governor and lieutenant governor hit on this yesterday in their press conference. It's not going to be the flick of a light switch. We've hit dates for May 1, 4, 12, where certain industries are going to be allowed to go back to work. Once they all go back to work, it's not like it's going to be or be like it was the day before, of the virus hit. I mean, there are going to be safety protocols. There's going to be, plexiglass, hand sanitizer. There's going to be a whole host of additional expenses that companies and businesses are going to have to pay for. And we thought that maybe we could, maybe we could, put this together and provide some local assistance for our local folks.
So with the businesses, is there a size of business is that qualifies them or would disqualify them?
Well, excuse me. The federal guidelines of a small business is 500 or less employees. Now, in Massillon, Ohio, a business of 500 employees is a pretty big business.
Sure.
But, there would be an employee requirement, just maybe 50 or lower.
Okay. And as far as you refer to the downtown district, what exactly does that encompass? Is that from a certain street to a certain street?
It is, and I don't have the exact map with me, but it's basically from, let's say the highway to maybe Third or Fourth Street,
Okay.
north and south. Maybe it goes south to Tremont, and maybe north to north or federal.
Sure.
There is the city has a defined geographic area that is on the books that defines the downtown historic district. We would follow, that guideline for those folks.
Um, what kind of timeline are you looking at as far as having this prepared and rolled out?
We think that we can draft, have the law department review and submit to council by mid-May.
Okay.
Um, that's I think a reasonable timeline. Once it's submitted to council, it would go through reads. If we can get a decision on it by maybe the 4th of July, that would be good. Uh, Hopefully, we hope it passes. We hope others, see the merit in it.
Sure.
Um, if we have to come down from the $500,000 asking price, we would do that if it made folks happy. Jim and I are concerned about the city's finances too.
Right.
You look at our voting record from the beginning of the year, we were pretty fiscally conservative before it was the thing to do.
Sure. Absolutely.
So that's why I thought it was important working with Jim on this project, because he believed it was important, and I think together we can hopefully make some progress for our businesses,
Sure.
try and save some jobs here in Massillon.
Especially with the downtown area, they've caught the brunt. I mean, to no fault of their own. I mean, it's been a rough go.
Well, it has, and Jim made it, to do a little extra for those folks was his idea, and we
Sure.
we talked about it, and it's like, you're right. When these folks were pretty much closed up for 9 months due to the streetscape, um, it reopens as they get back on their feet, and then they're hit with this, and
Right.
nobody could control this, but it's like it's a they the downtown business owner has certainly over the last couple of years dealt with their fair share of headaches, and we thought that maybe giving a little extra oomph in our funding to those folks, we thought that that would mean something coming from the city, and acknowledging that, and hopefully those extra funds, should they get it, is going to be helpful.
Well, I'm gonna I'm gonna hope and push for positive um, input on this because myself personally, I think you know a lot of what happened, being that it was out of their control. Um, you don't want to see. I mean, let's face it, Maslin has some of the best food in the area downtown.
Absolutely.
You don't want to lose that, and so it
Massillon's been, Massillon has been a leader in our region for a long time when it comes to economic development. If you look throughout Starr County, a lot of the things that have happened in Massillon over the last several years, certainly don't happen all over the place. We want to continue to be a leader. We want to continue to foster an environment where our businesses can grow. As we phase in, like I said earlier, it's not going to be over. And right when you're coming out of this, is when I think, and Jim thinks, that these folks, these businesses need some additional assistance. We want to make the phase in or recovery period as quick as possible
sure.
so that we can get back on track faster.
Hmm.
Obviously, last night there was a lot of concern. I didn't hear a whole lot of objection from people on council in general
Right.
to the idea. A lot of concern about the money. We would draft this obviously with those comments in mind. If we have to come down a little bit to make folks happy, we would do that. But um, the number one thing is to provide some assistance to where we are protecting and preserving our current and future tax revenues. This is like as I said last night, this we consider this a one-time investment in future tax dollars. If we can support the businesses and help them get back on their feet as quickly as possible, um, I think that that is a win all around.
Sure. Absolutely. That answers all of my questions, and I'm gonna share this on the different social media platforms and groups. Um, is there a way that they can contact yourself or Jim personally if they have questions?
They can call my cell phone at 330-268-5627.
Okay. Um, That's all I have. Is there anything else that you wanted to put out there?
Not at this time. I appreciate you taking an interest in this matter and allowing me an opportunity to explain what Jim and I are looking at doing.
Anytime. If you have anything else, just let me know and we'll set it up to where we can put that information out.
All right, perfect.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep, you bet.
Bye bye.
Bye. And that is a wrap for this episode of O'Malley Live. Again, if you're joining late, uh, this is going to stay up on the Book of Faces over here and YouTube. Go back and check out the beginning. There's a lot of good information here as far as the plan that Ted and Jim Therrett have for downtown businesses and businesses in Massillon as far as getting people back on track and back on their feet. And that, my friends, is a wrap until tomorrow morning. If you like these videos, hit that thumbs up. If you don't like the videos, hit the thumbs down. Let me know why. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you really like these videos, hit the subscribe button along with the bell. That way YouTube knows to notify you that new content is up on the channel. Until tomorrow, stay sharp, keep a tight shot, group, and rock on.